Up, students? Welcome. We only have a couple days left of social studies, and I just wanted to, do a final video like this, and we're going to do one final assignment that's going to take a couple days, but I think it's important. We're going to pause from the financial literacy. I think you guys would get that in 8th grade. You'll get some of that in high school. But we're going to really start to think like a historian. We're going to think like a historian as well as write like a historian. We are living in some really interesting times. COVID-19, pandemic, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. This is really unique. And the days that we're living in is historical. This has never happened before. The only thing I can compare it to is when I lived during the 9/11 time. And I remember it like it happened yesterday. The one thing I regret is that I didn't write anything down. I didn't have a teacher say, hey, you should journal about this because this is going to be important in 20 years. I didn't do that. I did collect newspapers, as you guys know, and I thought that was cool. I can look back at that and say, I remember that. I remember having that newspaper. But I'm going to challenge you guys in 7th grade to write, to think and write like a historian. And in the next part of this video, you're going to see me go through an assignment a writing assignment about this pandemic. And I just encourage you to pause and really think about these days that we've been living. It's day 65 today. It's Sunday, May 17th, and we're in day 65. Isn't that crazy? 65 days we've been living in a pandemic, and we don't know when it's going to end. And so to think about what has been going on these last 65 days, there's probably a lot of stuff we have in our brains, in our hearts, and we've been reflecting on. Now's an opportunity to actually write about it, and some of you might be writing about it. I encourage you to continue. So check out the next part of this video. I'm going to go through the directions, and then I'm going to make another video, again as a reminder how to put the blogs correctly onto the Google Classroom. I'll make a video probably later this week so you guys can see that. So Monday we'll have time to write, and then at 10:45 to 11:15 a.m. we'll use Google Meet if you have any questions or just want to hang out. Wednesday, more writing. And 10:45, 11:15 we'll have another Google Meet, and then this will be due by next Friday. So think about, you have a couple days to do this, and I know we only have technically an hour per day for social studies. I mean, you guys, obviously, if you want to spend more time on this, I challenge you to do so. So check out this next part of the video. All right, so here's the writing prompt. We are going to be thinking and writing like a historian. The historical event obviously is going to be COVID-19, aka coronavirus, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. And here's the directions. We're going to pick a prompt or a couple that I have listed below. There's 9, and we're going to write a blog about it. It's going to be at least 200 words, and we're going to make sure to add a picture. I bet you'll be able to do this in at least 200 words. There's so much that we can talk about. And why are we doing this? What's the purpose? Well, historians write about history. And we're going to be thinking and writing like a historian because we are all living through a historical moment. When 9/11 happened in my life, I remember it like it was yesterday, and you guys know that. I wish I wrote more down what I was thinking and feeling. I wish I wrote a letter to myself explaining the day. This is an opportunity to write about your experience during this historical days. And so I think it'll be a great way to end the school year. Unfortunate way to end the school year, but I think it's important that we do write this stuff down. So here are some ideas. If you have a different one, please let me know. Number 1, what has changed in your life since the pandemic began? What is your number 1 concern about how life has changed for you? Number 3, this one might be a lot you guys want to do anyway, but I led it as an option instead of making you do this one, but write a letter to your future self 5, 10, 20 years from now and explain how the pandemic changed life as you once knew it. 4, explain in detail how things that matter the most to you in life have changed because of the pandemic. 5, how are you feeling about the world and how has it changed because of the pandemic? 6, what do you miss most about life before the outbreak? 7, what do you miss the least about life before the outbreak? 8, what changes do you think this pandemic has caused that will still be around years from now? 9, what are you doing with all your extra time? Are you binge watching Netflix or Disney Plus, creating art, writing, sleeping? Explain your answer in as much detail as you can. And then a bonus. This is not something you have to turn in. This is a bonus. Write a letter to your best friend and then send it to them in the mail. I think people like getting mail. Mail with a stamp. Think about it. You have someone that you can write to. It could be someone that you go to school with. It doesn't matter. Getting a letter in the mail is sometimes pretty cool. And then here are the expectations. 200 words, make sure to add details. The more you write, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, write that stuff down. 200 words is not going to be an issue. The reason I have a limitation like that is so that you are thinking and you are adding more details. If I said write whatever you want, a lot of times you guys write a couple sentences and you think you're done. This is going to hopefully encourage you to think more. 2, this part is the best part. Add pictures. These could be of you during these days, or actual pictures of this time. So what do you think we would add? Here are some examples. Toilet paper, right? I mean, think about it. Toilet paper craze. That'd be a great picture to add to remember these days, because in 20 years from now, you're going to look back like, oh yeah, toilet paper. Signs that say closed. I've been to a lot of restaurants that have signs in the window that say they're closed or say only for takeout. Caution tape around playgrounds. I've seen so much caution tape around playgrounds. It's sad, but I've seen it. Face masks, gloves, maybe pictures of politicians that you constantly remember seeing. What else? Take your own pictures to make it more authentic. You could obviously find stuff on the internet, whatever. I mean, some of you probably will do that. But if you have an opportunity to go on a little walk, do a little exercise, think about that. Think about what you see. Take pictures of that. 3, make sure to proofread it. Great opportunity to have your parents look at it, have your siblings look at it, have your friends look at it. Maybe you read it to them out loud. Get some ideas. And here are the checkpoints. So Monday, we'll start working on this. Start writing. We'll have a Google Meet, 10:45 to 11:15 to answer any questions. Wednesday, very similar day. So that's May 20th. We're going to continue writing. We'll have Google Meet, 10:45 to 11:15 to answer any questions. And then Friday, the expectation is to get this done by Friday. I think there's plenty of time. And then we'll turn it into the blogger on Friday. And then I think we have one following week. We have one final meeting that we'll meet and talk about it. Here are the guidelines. I'll send this to you. You guys have this in front of you, and we'll talk more about it.